you're trying to get your songs placed in a library, or if you're trying to get commission gigs um you actually composed a piece for the specific media,
Hmm.
and that will let your potential employer know that, oh, this guy knows how to use music to convey some sort of other meaning, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Um, so how do you think being a like professional has changed over the years, like a professional musician? Would you say it's
Oh,
the same as it was when you first started, or has it changed a lot in that past 10 years? Or like even going farther back from what you've learned from your peers, like has it changed a lot in their lifetimes too?
oh, absolutely,
Hmm.
absolutely. Yeah, I think well, that's tough. Okay, well, I mean, I primarily play jazz music or improvisational music. Um, Man, I think that the that market is fantastic right now. Like, we have, like, I think with the with Spotify, with social media, um that people are listening to like heady music, like I don't know, like man, some of these albums that are coming out that are, they're like, I mean, Hiatus Coyote, and yeah, bands like these bands like Snarky Puppy are filling huge rooms
Yeah.
and playing crazy music.
Hmm.
So I think that um, the direction that the music scene is headed is fantastic, and because of that, um, yeah. That being said, like the traditional jazz music is definitely, um, it's always been sort of a niche market thing. But have heard guys say like, oh, it used to be so much better back in the day, but generally I don't really buy into that. I think that in order to work as a musician, you play music that your audience enjoys, and
Yeah.
if your audience enjoys a certain sort type of music, then it would behoove the musician to maybe step towards the audience a little bit, rather than to yeah, to just to stay doing the same playing the same sort of music that they've been playing for years, and expect people to come to them, because the people have so many options these days.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I think, oh yeah, and I mean, with all the digital stuff, I mean, yeah, being a musician is easier than it ever has been. I mean,
Yeah.
my keyboard weighs 22 pounds, whereas even 10 years ago, my keyboard probably would have weighed 75 pounds.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it probably costs less too, and it sounds better,
Hmm.
and it has more sounds on it. And I can carry all of my sheet music in my iPad, which, weighs like 2 pounds. And I can let everybody know about my gig by typing it in to Facebook, rather than having to like hang posters up all over town, or like, flyer everywhere, which is still, there's still a place for that. But yeah, I think that, yeah, we live in an age where it's a great time to be a musician, I think.
Hmm. Yeah. And so, like, kind of off that, would you say like like the income streams for musicians, has it changed a lot over the past like 10 to 20 years, or do you think it's like always been primarily like lessons and gigging and stuff like that, or have you seen like more income from like technology and stuff?
Um, yeah, well, me personally, let's see, income streams through technology. Yeah, I think, yeah, it depends on what sort of music you're making, and where that revenue is coming from. Like, I think traditionally, at least, like, throughout the CD era and the vinyl era, musicians made a lot of money through selling their records. Whereas now that's not as much the case, because people pretty much expect to be able to listen to an audio file for free.
Hmm.
It's like, and I don't blame them. It's just the way it's gone, which it is. Well, I guess like that is sort of unhealthy, I think, because of course these recordings cost money to make. So it doesn't really make a lot of sense to spend money on making something and then giving it away for free.
Yeah.
So that is kind of a bummer, I guess. But I think that what that's really done is create more niche markets for music. So because music is so readily available all over the place, um people are listening to all sorts of different kinds of music, and then they're coming out and they're buying concert tickets, and or coming out to listen to live music in bars or whatever. And I think that is like a much bigger revenue stream for most artists now than selling their recorded music.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah. You mostly making the record so you can go on tour and you know hopefully sell some tickets.
Mm, cool. Sorry, I'm just like getting all my notes together.
Uh-huh.
Uh, so what is something that like you see amateurs do wrong a lot when they're trying to go pro? Or what is like some mistakes you made when you were trying to become a professional musician?
Uh, Let me think about that. Mistakes. Well, so important is the aspect of like the peer group, you know, and going out and meeting people
Mm-hmm.
and being on the scene. So I know lots of guys who are great players, but I mean, you can't just like you can't just you know live in the practice room all the time and never go out. You got like when I was first starting out, I was always out, like oh every night, some jam session, or you know some listening to some sort of live music, and that is completely essential. I think if you want to, yeah, because I mean that I think that's like that in any industry, right? You have to you're working with people. You have to know the people who are doing what you want to do
Mm-hmm.
and who are going to hire you. So yeah, that's one thing I see is yeah, it's people who want to if you want to be a musician, specifically jazz musician. I think the rock thing might be different, but I imagine it's probably about the same. But if you want to be a musician, you got to go out to where the musicians are hanging out and meet them. And I see some people not doing that. I think that's yeah, that's something you gotta do.
Mm-hmm.
What's another one? Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, cool. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so with you coming back to college, what do you like for music again? What do you think? Do you think like going to school for music is really important? Like, has it helped you a lot, or like would you recommend it to people? I guess or
Absolutely.
encourage.
I mean, it's going back to school has been life changing for me. But
Mm-hmm.
that's because you know I was really lucky to have an awesome professor who like I mean he's like a guru, you know. So I think that's really important. I would say yeah, for if you're going to music school, all right. Well, so I guess the goal of music school would be to get really good at music, right? So um so you can do what like play gigs or whatever it is you're trying to do. There's lots of different avenues there, but I would say like yeah, if you're gonna go to music school, make sure you really like your teacher, like really like because I think yeah, a teacher student relationship is like yeah, it's a pretty it's a close relationship. It's a very like yeah, you really I think in order for lessons to really work successfully on that level, you have to really like put yourself like in the hands of your teacher, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and just trust what they say no matter what. Like if they say practice this, you practice it because you believe that it's going to work. It's going to make you better and give you what you need. Um, and yeah, that being the case, yeah, I think that yeah, you have to trust that person. So you have to like the way that they play. You know, that's super important. You have to kind of like the way that they view the world, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So that's the way I feel about music school. I mean, music is like it's like yoga or something, you know? It's like or it's like meditation. And like your teacher is kind of like your guide, you know? So uh, yeah, that's I'd say. But if you have a good one of those, it can be like I mean, yeah, going back to school has completely changed my life. I mean, it's really like I'm a better musician. I'm getting better gigs. I'm a better teacher. My teaching opportunities are better now. It's just really it's been yeah, absolutely
Mm-hmm.
beneficial experience for
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
So if you had like the option to like learn under Peter Stoltz when your teacher, but not necessarily go to music school, would you have taken it, or do you really enjoy the fact that you're like back in more of like um like a setting dedicated just towards learning?
Yeah, yeah, good question. Man, well, at this point, I've been back in school for like 2.5 years, so I'm about ready to be done with it, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest. But being in the academic setting has really, yeah, it's been great for me. great for me. Had some great opportunities to study with a lot of different people and study a lot of different things. I took a bunch of recording classes because I was a double major in recording and performance for a while, but I decided I need to finish it up. So
Yeah.
I went to just performance, but yeah, oh man, yeah, it's so great being in a place where there are so many experts at doing what I want to do
Mhm.
expertly. So I mean, hanging out with all the recording guys and Jeff Merkel, and like that guy is such an inspiration to me. He's just such a he's an audio professor at CU Denver, but like hanging out with that guy and asking him questions and just learning from him, like it's such a valuable experience. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I Of course, like, yeah, studying with Peter has been life changing for my piano playing and for my understanding of music. But yeah, the whole academic experience has been overwhelmingly positive, I'd say.
Okay, cool. And so, last question. You kind of answered this earlier today, um, but like kind of going off what we said about like the mindset of you musician. Like, what is a healthy mindset to have when you are either like that you have as a professional musician?
The healthy mindset.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of them. Just I guess it depends on what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But um, yeah, I think that I mean, music, I said just a minute ago, but I think music is like yoga. It's like or meditation. It's a path rather than something to be mastered. Because you can never learn it all. It's
Yeah.
infinite. Well, it's not infinite, but it's pretty huge. So, that being the case, like I think to approach music from a standpoint of like of humility and always just wanting to be the best that you can to uh yeah, try to like accept that you're like, unless you are the best, which there's only one of those guys, you're not the best, but that's okay. Just you can be the best you can be the best
Yeah.
but just, yeah, I'd say work hard at that. And yeah, and also, like, yeah, just the study of music is, yeah, it's an important, it's like a very sacred thing. And our, well, I use the word sacred, that's a little loaded word, but it's like, it's a very special thing for that we humans have. So yeah, it's something to be taken seriously, but it's so much fun. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's, in the end of the day, it's, I think, yeah, it's that might be a healthy mindset to take, is that, yeah.
Okay. Cool. Um, I don't have anything else. Would you like to say anything else or?
I think I talked a lot. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I think I said what I needed to say, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. You got a lot of good information.
Hey, right on. Thanks.
Yeah. So check Mikey Smith out at his website, MikeySmithMusic.com. It's in the overlay, and this video should be up tomorrow on YouTube. And my website is shapingtheindustry.com, and follow me on Twitter at Zach Suter Music. Thanks. Bye.